Man on the Moon 3 is out. I hope everybody stopped all they had to fucking do and listen to that. He sat down with Zane Lowe and did a few other interviews and just had these really dope deep dives. Where were y'all on Cudi prior to? Like, are y'all Cudi fans like that, or y'all just is cool? Like, and do y'all have feelings either way?
Nah, I really fucked with his first project a lot.
Man on the Moon.
Yeah. And then kind of fell off after that for a little bit. But whenever I heard him feature, I liked his features within his albums. Just
got you. Were you a Cudi fan, G?
Yeah. I definitely fuck with Cudi. I haven't heard this one yet, unfortunately, but I'm not like the first one to music right now, unfortunately. But I've been a fan of Cudi for sure, and I'm always a fan of like super introspective, like it's almost borderline, or not in Cudi's case for sure sad, but like, but people that are like kind of towing that line and like I fuck with that music for sure. Yeah. So yeah.
So Man on the Moon 1, very interesting time in both music and just impact. Again, freshman year of school, it for whatever reason, everything that was being dropped in and around that time was hitting different, from the Wale's, the Wizz's, the J Electronicas, the Currencies. Like that whole wave of music was very, very specific. And this one person just kind of cut through out of everybody. In terms of representing another dimension of what being a black male could mean. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hadn't really heard anybody black that looked that cool express some of the sadness, the isolation, the thoughts, the bouts with mortality and suicide, all these different things. And and I get why some of the OGs were turned off by it and didn't really fuck with it. But it was a very specific style I felt like made for a very specific type of experience, and Cudi like hit that shit out of the park, and so it's a real cult following. And then Man on the Moon 2, similar shit, and then
he also does a great job of playing with like sound waves.
Oh yeah,
he uses his voice as like an instrument.
No one's ever done that.
Yeah,
and so when you hear the influence that eventually leads into the Twisted Dark Fantasies and the Blueprint 3s why can't I think of the Ye album, the one that just changed music forever?
I'm Heartless and stuff
yeah.
like that?
808s and Heartbreaks.
808s and Heartbreaks, like just changed music forever. And then Travis comes and picks up that torch but is largely influenced because of Cudi. I'm setting it up like this to go, by my measurement as a fan, bruh's out of here and in a world of his own. And some of my favorite artists today, Rex Life Raj, Iman Europe, they feel the exact same way about Cudi. And there's a lot of people I know that feel that way. But here he is sitting down with Zane Lowe going, yeah, I don't think people really fuck with me like that. And going, yeah, Man on the Moon 1 and 2, they both took 10 years to go platinum. And you're going, God damn. I just listened to, and I got a lot of shit for it, but I listened to Andre 3000 express something very similar in terms of like what the gratification can mean and do, in a sense of just being a creative that just wants to express and say very specific shit and carve out something brand new that doesn't have a measuring stick. Like you hear Cudi and you can't go, he sounds like such and such. You just can't do it. You hear shit Andre 3000 is doing and you go, yeah, I really don't have a reference point for this. So it either gets cast aside or it absolutely gets loved and protected.
Cultivated.
But there is no middle ground for people like that. And it just started making me think of all the people who are one of ones for real. And how much easier the road traveled of like, yo, Pop Smoke came and made a whole sound. Let's get them same type of beats. Let's mimic that same flow and let's just go for it. It's a safe bet. And that was one of the questions that Zane Lowe brought up was like, yo, you ain't really have a safety net like that. And Cudi's like, yeah. He's like, I didn't think about it then at the time, but as it started happening and seeing like album after album get killed critically and by the masses, quote unquote, I was like, damn, that wasn't my experience with those records, and it wasn't my experience with other listeners. It was a complete opposite. And so it just made me think about the way that hate or critique cuts through versus the way that admiration and love does. Like it's a unique sort of fucking experience where all you can really fixate on is the hate, as opposed to, man, at least these people love it. I'm selling out these shows, or these people are showing up, or my peers fuck with me for real. Go ahead, G.
I think a lot of it also has to do with how you feel about yourself, like before you even get into a booth to say something, you know. And I think for Cudi's past, at least, the avid use of drugs lets you know a lot about an individual that is struggling with their own image. Yeah. You know, so I think before you even get to admiration from outside people and if they like it or they hate it and stuff like that, before you even get to that, it's literally how you feel about yourself first and foremost. And if you don't feel that well about yourself, then a lot of those you start fixating a lot more on like the people that may hate it as opposed to people that do love it. Because I'm pretty sure if Cudi was to look at if he just looked at his a sheet of people that loved and hated, you would probably see way more people on that sheet that are saying that they love something that Cudi has done or is giving that admiration on there. But he's gonna fixate on the people that are saying nah, and it could be somebody that doesn't matter, or it could be somebody not that everybody matters, but like it could be somebody that it doesn't matter within his circles. On like doesn't know anything about music, but is just more so just out here to troll and hate and shit. And that shit is way more amplified if you don't feel too well about yourself. So that's something that I think that could come into play for his particular situation too. Besides being an artist overall, like if you're out there giving art, if you're giving out art, then yes, you're gonna be mad sensitive about it because you spend the time on it. You know what I'm saying? So like once it goes out to people, then they can critique it and it's like, bro, are you there though, my nigga? Like I spent hella time on this shit. Like I've done all the steps to what you have to do to get this to the point of putting it out. And then now all you do is just listen to it and say, I don't fuck with it. Yeah. And it's like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? What have you done that says that, you know what I mean? That's the type of back and forth that you end up having with the public. So yeah, I think the drug part for this particular person will play a huge role in how you feel, because people that do heavy drugs tend to have like it breaks off like your filtering. Like yes, you're filtered away from the world where you don't pay attention to shit. But once you come down and you're at your lowest, best believe all that shit can cycle in. It's very similar to if you're dealing with like the flu season and shit like that, where like it gets into your immune system. People that have broken down immune systems, the best way to break your immune system down to let some shit in, bet you more people get like the cold after they went out on a night of binge drinking. Yep. Because you've already attacked all of your defense mechanisms. Yep. And it's very similar. The drugs, you attacked all your defense mechanisms. So when you do actually, once that shit cycles out of your body and you sweat that shit out of your system, everything allows itself in, including people's hate. That's just like fucking clockwork. You know what I mean? So that's unfortunate because Cudi's super talented.
Super talented. And again, somebody who's regarded as one of the greats, but not even amongst the average consumer or the fans, but the peers, right? And so it just got me to thinking about the youth, aspiring artists, and not even just youth. Like there's niggas that are, you know, close to my age, older, who are still suffering with the idea of notoriety, accolades, the instant gratification. It's like, huh. And it just, again, you start thinking about shit, and it made me think, how many people would do anything if there were no like button, if there were no retweet button, if there was no ability to comment and like how many people would continue to do or produce anything if that were the case?
You mean like after the like button was invented? Or are you talking about if it was never a thing?
Let's do both
because that's two completely different personalities.
That's a really good point, G. Let's talk about both.
Okay. I think way more people would create shit if there was never a like button. Now that there has been a like button, best believe, even if you took that thing away now, everybody's so trained that I think the people that were creating will no longer create.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be few and far between that they'd actually create something because they'll start becoming super insecure.
The currency's gone.
Exactly.
The not even the currency, the real drug, as I want to call it. Like we want to talk about dope, like ghetto dope. Like this is. I imagine this ain't what P meant, but this is what it's morphed into. It's so cheap. If crack was hella cheap and easy to make, if meth is hella cheap and easy to make, nigga, this don't cost you a fucking thing. And it's the most addictive thing in the world. Like people who have had extreme success and the riches that you dream about are still going, my nigga, but they don't like me. Yeah. Whoa. And you're something that is attached to your, because Cudi ain't no amateur
at all.
He ain't no SoundCloud rapper. This thing ain't rapping in no closet. He can get paid from this shit. His show money, what he leverages in the acting and shit. Like, he really get bread off this shit, and he's still addicted to the shit that don't cost no money at all. And we're seeing that time and time again. And I don't want to say addicted, he's impacted by. Whereas people who ain't getting no money at all have become completely dependent upon the like and the gratification and how that feels. Like yo, I'm having a bad day, my nigga. I'm about to post a picture real quick. I'm having a bad day. I'm about to post TBT. Just for the hell of it.
Age comes into play too, because the older you get, all that like shit is a young person's game. Like, the older you get, you're not getting as many likes, bro. Like, that's just case in fact. Like, more and more people are going to be talking shit because more and more people, like more and more of your peers in your peer group are growing up as well. They're becoming a lot more confident in things that they say. Even if it's wrong, they've gotten into their ways, and they are able to voice their opinion now. Whether it's right or wrong, they're doing that shit. So the older you get, your base is getting older too. They're gonna be critiquing the fuck out of what you say. And then the youth, they don't give a fuck about nothing that you're doing. They weren't here for your come up, so they don't know nothing about that shit. They're only hearing that, oh, that shit's completely different from what I listen to. So I don't want to hear that shit. And you be listening to that shit more than you be listening to the fact that, hey, I've done this to this point, and there's a lot more that I want to do. Just do that shit. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like I think that's the spectrum, unfortunately.
All of that to get to how amazing Man on the Moon 3 is, though. Like, 2020. Oh, the final numbers for what the not just for fuck the music industry, what the performance portion of the music industry, the revenue that it lost.
Crazy.
You saw that number?
That was a crazy number.
Last night at dinner, I go, because we've been having this conversation since the beginning of quarantine, like the investment Freak and I made, assuming that we'd be able to tour all of spring, all of summer, and part of the fall. We were only able to get back like 10% of those deposits and shit. So I've been documenting that for the family just to give some perspective. And so last night I go, oh, by the way, that number came out. They're like, oh, what was it? It's like, I just get a guess. I just want to see where you at. $1 billion? And then somebody said $500 million. I said, really? Try 30. 30 billion.
Hey, and then you wonder why St. John does festival music.
Come on.
If they put in 30 billion, they're losing 30 billion in a pandemic year, bro. They are just throwing cash.
Our block alone, 3 venues closed that are gone, that are wiped out. And this is, what is this, month 10 or is this month 9? This is month 10, right?
Nah, we ain't been in that. It's just about. It's 8 or 9.
This is 9. Okay.
I think it's probably 9 now.
Okay.
Or 9, yeah.
9 months.
Yep, because we got January, February, and then March coming right back around.
So we're getting knocking on the door of a year of no venue performances at all. We're talking about upwards of $30 billion already. And then we're going to wipe out South by Southwest is canceled for 2021. Sundance has not said what they are going to do. Coachella, Glastonbury.
All right, this is a super sick note, but I'll be thinking about this shit. And all right, so we ain't had these venues performing, but we also haven't had any mass killings. It's a sick with it. They got to shine a mirror on that. It's something has to be paid attention to on that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get people aren't congregating like that, but bro, like that there's a particular group that has decided to take out a lot of people at the exact same time.
Yeah.
And we ain't had that shit at all.
Yeah.
Like, people are still congregating. Like, that shit's still happening.
Yeah, for sure.
But it ain't happening. Like, people that are like disregarding the whole pandemic and shit and coming together and shit like that, you ain't hearing about hella people dying at the exact same time. You hearing one-offs.
Yeah.
A few people here and there. You ain't hearing a whole gang of people at one time. So yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, go ahead. My bad.
No, I just wanted to bring that up. And setting the tone for the 2020, the year in review for music. From Spillage Village, Salt, Cudi now, Freddie Gibbs, Benny the Butcher, Hit Boy, Nas, Hit Boy, everything Grand National's done, Jane Hancock by herself. It's been a real special year for music. Rex Life Raj, like it's been incredible.
Where did they announce the award shows at?
What do you mean?
Like, award shows are still happening.
Oh yeah,
they've been happening like online, but like where do they announce them? Like, where do they say that? Oh, this award show is on this date at this time, because BET Awards happen, right?
Yeah.
Where'd they announce that at?
BET in different platforms, but it's like and we talk about it often with the apps and everything. It's become so personalized. Like, if you not looking for it, you damn near don't have this. It don't have to come across your timeline. Like the marketing, and that's why our information is so important. So, because you don't have to go, all right, I'm about to buy this expensive ass ad in this newspaper, in this magazine, to generally market my product. Facebook and everybody else doing this work to get your data can tell me exactly who the fuck my demo is.
Oh, social networks. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Okay.
So if you don't be checked, nigga, if you ain't never searched for no award show on your YouTube, the fuck am I promoting to you for?
Huh.
I can get right to the source. Cut all that shit out. And that's why it's become every and so you got the streaming numbers in your notes this week, right? Or is it yeah. So when we looking at what you get per streams, it's like, yo, why is everything so cheap? Because of marketing dollars. It, like, if I don't got to go spend no marketing dollars, if I don't got to go buy an expensive ass Super Bowl ad or a commercial slot, and I can go right to Spotify and give them a fraction of that, I'm gonna do that twice over. I'm gonna renew this contract. It's gonna be a 3 to 5 year contract with them to promote this product on there. Oh, Spotify got that bread locked in, so we can do this exclusive deal. It's a fucked up thing when money is cheap as hell. Money's cheaper than it's ever been. So the artists are feeling it the most. Spotify gonna keep their lights on. Apple gonna keep their lights on. You name it, them lights gonna be on. But they selling them ad spots for hella cheap with the contingency that the deals are for a longer period of time. So fucked up. But I know who my demo is. So I only got to spend money. Oh, and now you telling me I don't have to spend money with no platform. I can go direct to Brilliant Idiots if I'm DoorDash and just market with them. I know what they doing per clip. They doing $1 million a clip. Joe Rogan doing $1 million a clip, and then has the nerve to do a million views on his 3-hour podcast. I'm going to spend money directly with him. Spotify. Hey Joe, we got 100 for you. If you can do that on your own, we won't in. it's a fucked up game, but you gotta love it.
Also says why Facebook, Amazon, and Apple are so fucking important.
Exactly. They got all the metrics on that ass and can help zero
They got
in,
your data
down pat to a T. They know you better than you know you. All that trying to get to this how amazing this Cudi record is and how much it cut through.
See, Cudi, you see how much conversation happens around.
You
your
know what I'm
album,
saying, man?
You know how much it tears off and shit.
You are a national treasure. What the freedom. Shout out to Dr. Genius and everybody that produced the record too.